Breaking barriers in football, Girona's historic qualification for the Champions League clashes with UEFA regulations due to its ownership by the City Football Group. As legal battles ensue, the intricate dance between investment, autonomy, and competition integrity unfolds. Can Girona prove its independence and secure its spot among Europe's elite clubs? UEFA's decision looms large, shaping the future of club ownership in modern football. Subscribe for don't miss anything. Girona is set to break away from the City Group to play in the Champions League. Here's why. By defeating Barcelona 4-2 on Saturday, 4th, in the 34th round of the Spanish League, Girona secured a spot in the Champions League for the first time in their history for the next season. However, the issue arises because Girona is owned by the City Football Group, which also owns Manchester City in England, and UEFA prohibits clubs owned by the same entity from participating in the same competition. However, the governing body for European football has partly relaxed these rules due to the increasing presence of multi-club ownership, MCO. The prohibition on MCOs is present in the Champions League regulations themselves, which theoretically would prevent two clubs owned by the same company from participating. However, the law must adapt to reality, adjusting to the football market and allowing for investment growth in the sport, while also ensuring the integrity of the competitions. From this perspective, given the exponential growth of MCOs, in order to avoid making participation by relevant clubs unfeasible and hindering the conduct of competitions, UEFA relaxed this rule last year, explains lawyer João Paulo de Carlo, a specialist in sports law. In this sense, agreements were made with several clubs to significantly reduce the shareholding participation of investors in one of the clubs, transferring effective control and decision-making from one club to an independent party, imposing restrictions on financing, ending participation in management boards and decision-making bodies, thereby reducing decision-making and financial power across multiple clubs, he adds. Last June, UEFA allowed 3 different cases for MCOs to participate simultaneously in their competitions. The UEFA Club Financial Control Body, CFCB, allowed Aston Villa and Vitória de Guimarães, V Sports, Brighton and USG, Tony Bloom, and Milan and Toulouse to participate simultaneously. Similarly, there was a commitment to not transfer players between clubs of the same company until September 2024, as well as a ban on technical and commercial cooperation or even a shared player database. In my view, UEFA made the right decision at that time, and the same should be done with the Girona-Manchester City case, which will certainly be reviewed by the organisation in the coming months, evaluates João Paulo de Carlo. Upon preliminary and literal analysis, there is a normative prohibition in UEFA's regulations, Art. 5, against clubs linked to the same controller loaner participating in the same competition. However, the interpretation of this rule has been flexible in recent similar cases, as was the case with Red Bull Leipzig, GER, and Red Bull Salzburg, AUT, among others. If the clubs under review can demonstrate that decision-making does not come directly from the same person, body, or group, the interpretation has been that there is no violation of the prohibition in question. Therefore, despite the explicit restriction in the regulations, Girona should have the right to participate in the competition ensured. What do UEFA regulations say? UEFA, aiming to ensure the integrity of the competitions, states in Articles 5.01 of the Champions League and Europa League regulations that no one shall have, directly or indirectly, the capacity to manage or administer, nor control or influence more than one participating club at the same time. Despite this, there are loopholes that can reverse this condition. Understanding the case. The City Football Group holds 47% of Girona's shares, while owning 86% of Manchester City. In addition to these teams, the group holds stakes in other clubs around the world, such as New York City, USA, Melbourne City, Australia, Yokohama Marinos, Japan, Montevideo City Torque, Uruguay, Sichuan Junyou, China, Mumbai City FC, India, Lommel SK, Belgium, Esperance Troyes, France, Palermo FC, Italy, Bahia, Brazil, and Bolivar, Bolivia. This type of situation has occurred several times in recent years with clubs under the same owner in UEFA competitions. RB Leipzig, Germany, vs Red Bull Salzburg, Austria, Aston Villa, England, vs Vitória de Guimarães, Portugal, Brighton, England, vs Union St Gilloise. In all these cases, the teams were able to prove their management independence and were authorized by UEFA to play in the same competitions. In all instances, the only veto imposed by the organization was related to potential player negotiations between teams of the same group. Girona believes it will be able to prove to UEFA that it has sufficient autonomy in its decision-making process to participate in the Champions League. If successful, the team will receive a special permission from the European football governing body, allowing them to compete in the tournament as usual. The trend is for the matter to be definitively resolved by UEFA's disciplinary committee before the start of the 2024-25 season. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and activate the notifications. CYA.